Oh, happy Monday, everyone, and welcome to my show where it really is okay to not be okay. I'm Rae Bonney, a qualified counsellor, workplace mental health specialist, and not to mention a very dedicated and oftentimes enthusiastically disruptive men's issues advocate. Not every girl's dream job, but hey, remember, men also matter. With you for the next hour before the divine Ken Lyons, his health program. But always, as always, I will be unwrapping one of the greatest gifts going around, and that is people. Layer by layer, we explore the thoughts, experiences, achievements and challenges of ordinary people bound to inspire the best to you. At the same time, acknowledging that it really is okay to not be okay. So turn up your radio. The time is just 7 minutes past 12 o'clock. Thanks, Steve, for your box of chocolates. Didn't listen to a word of it, but I'm sure it was very good. Now, at a very young age, many of us have the great fortune of being inducted into a system of education, groomed to become something that will sustain the rest of our lives. How do we choose something so important with such little experience? Do we follow pennies or do we follow our passion? My guest today picked up his very first tennis racket at the tender age of 11, and from that moment followed his intuition. Some 30 years later, dedication, determination and trust in his gut has led him to become an internationally recognised professional tennis coach. Stephen Savino's passion for coaching began at club level here in Melbourne, but it didn't take long before his Italian blood got all fired up and he followed his heart to Europe, where he spent a major part of his coaching career gaining amazing experience as a touring coach. Now, not many people can brag about being head coach of the Art of Tennis in Perugia in Italy, which is renowned for producing many of the world's best players. Well, Stephen can. He's now back in Melbourne and here with me right now in the studios of 3WBC. I welcome to my show, Stephen Savino.
Hello, Rae.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Very well, thanks.
Well, I'm so excited to have you here.
Yeah,
because
it's good to be here.
We only talked about this a couple of weeks ago on a bit of a whim.
That's true.
And said, hey, come on the show. And you just said yes straight away.
Oh, without a doubt.
Without a doubt. And then said, what do I say?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm still stuck for words.
Over to you now. Bye. I mean, over to you.
No, keep going. You're doing well.
Now, there is so much I've missed out on your very impressive rap sheet, but we do have approximately, I think, about 42 minutes, because you've chosen a really long song, to serve up some ace juice on what it feels like being you. Now, how's that for a bit of tennis talk?
That is very, precise.
Yes, juice. Well, I did spell it as in juice with a J.
Not as in orange juice?
Not as in deuce.
Not as in deuce.
So my son, Rory, came to me last night and was reading my show notes and he said, that's not how you spell it. And I said, man, it's a play on words. Give me some, poetic license here. But no, Mum, you can't be doing that.
Yeah, I think I spelt it as juice for the first 10 years of my playing career, up until I was about 20.
That's because you left school at age 11 when you picked up your tennis racket. Now, we've known each other for about 3 years, but haven't caught up a great deal because you've been touring most of that time.
Yeah, I was.
Here
a
in
little
Australia?
bit in that time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, mostly around Australia, not that much internationally apart from going for a holiday. But
well, couldn't you just say that was a working holiday? Glam it up a bit?
Yeah, it sort of was. I mean, a holiday's... Yeah, sort of work anyway, I suppose, because you're coming down from work.
Well, you've been tour coaching or coach touring. Sort of brings up that stereotypical bus driver thing, doesn't it? If you're a coach tourer or a tour coach.
Well, I see coach tours all around the street, so it just brings me back home.
That's right. Now, let's get back to this 11-year-old bit, because I can't even imagine what you looked like when you were 11. Because
Same. Haven't changed.
So you were 6'75" at age 11?
Pretty much.
Really? Because you are a tall lad.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty tall. 6'3".
6'3"?
Yeah.
Well, that's not Amazonial, is it, really?
No, I think it's like just right. You get a good view of everything, and the weather's a little bit different up here, but,
My friend Tom Downey, he's 6'8".
Yeah, that's insane.
That's really tall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he has to shop at that tall man place. Now, so you've picked up the tennis racket at 11. Where were you?
I was in Bundoora.
Yep. Were
northern
you
suburbs.
under a tree?
I was at a tennis club.
Yes.
At a tennis court because one of my friends was playing down at Norris Bank Tennis Club.
Yep.
And I just went along. He was one of my best friends. I just went along one day to
Is he
to
listening
try
in
out.
today?
No, he's actually in Greece.
Oh.
He left, about a week ago. He went to Athens. He's a photographer.
Yeah.
So he's just travelling around, just taking
Snaps.
random photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Following his passion, no doubt.
Well, he is, yeah. He's been doing that for about, I've been doing for about the same time, I'd say. About
Yeah.
20 years he's been taking photos. So.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Because did you go to the same school?
Yeah, we went to the same primary school
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
St. Francis of Assisi in Mill Park.
Ah.
And then he went to Parade and I went to Loyola College,
Yeah.
which is basically right next door.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we just met up. Oh, we were always friends throughout high school and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And yeah, when I was living in Italy, he was actually there with me living in Italy as well for a time, for a couple of years.
It's funny how life works out, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, then he's went that way with photography and mine went the other way with tennis.
But he started the tennis thing because he took you to the tennis club.
Yeah, because he was playing. So
Yes.
I had my first lesson with him, I think.
Yeah.
And then, it just took on a life of its own.
So what was that as opposed to, picking up a cricket bat, picking up a pool cue or something like that? Did it feel different for you?
Yeah, a little bit it did. It just felt, I just liked the tradition of it and the image of it
Yeah.
at the start.
But what
That was
about the
good because
natural...
I think Pat Cash was like the most, I think he
yes.
just won Wimbledon or
Yes.
something like that. Yeah, I think it was 87,
Yeah.
1987, or I think probably started, can't remember now, 86. I was probably 12, thinking back now.
Gee.
Yeah,
wow.
late starter.
I'm sorry to my audience. Got the wrong
So
information.
I get confused.
11, 12, let's not
It's such
split
a long
hairs.
time ago.
Yeah. But was that the natural feeling though? Like, were you good at it straight away?
I don't think I was that good. I couldn't hit the ball. Yeah, well, I was doing volleys and I couldn't centre the ball on the strings, which was strange. Hit the frame a lot.
Yeah.
But then it
Boing.
sort of, it got better. But I used to practice a lot.
Yeah.
Up against the wall. I was like obsessed.
Okay.
Yeah, at home. Like in the garage, just outside the garage.
So was this something
Like
that your
hours
parents
a day.
noticed that you were getting quite interested?
Yeah, they noticed, but the loud banging on the wall was like, Stephen, come on.
And all the mortar in the bricks
softer.
started falling out and then the house fell
Oh, yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then, I just really enjoyed it. I loved it. Yeah, so I just continued playing and slowly started to play competition, started playing tournaments and had a few good results. Was winning matches. It's always more fun when you're having a couple of wins as opposed to losing. I suppose if I was losing a lot, I probably wouldn't have continued because it
Yes.
just wouldn't been, just would have been more of like a social thing. But then, just kept playing and one thing led to another. And
So this is just normal club playing?
yeah, normal
local?
club playing,
Yeah.
then playing the local junior tournaments and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then through high school, I sort of lost touch with it a little bit, and I was doing year 11, year 12, so didn't have time. And I think we moved to Brunswick as well, so it sort of like disrupted that.
Yes.
So from Bundoora to Brunswick, and then only had time because I was still going to school at Loyola, so it was a
Yes.
bit of a trip. So I didn't have time to couldn't find the time to keep practicing so much.
Did you miss it
And
then?
then- no, not really. I sort of took a break from it and didn't really think. But I was always playing. I was still playing once a week and still playing the competition on the weekend sometimes and
Yeah.
and everything. But then sort of wanted to get through year 12 and then throw myself into it a little bit more
Yeah.
afterwards.
So what did you do in year 11 and 12 then? Did you...
Not much.
Did you
I don't
have...
think I even said a word. I was like so quiet.
Oh, really?
I thought I was quiet.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What were you
But, yeah, I
studying?
didn't even- where?
What were you studying in
I
year
was-
11 to 12?
I can't remember.
Did you have an ambition,
No.
we were talking just before off air and, trying to sort of build that idea of what it might have felt like being you back then. And when you have that itch that you can't scratch, and that's how you described it, was this thing, tennis, that at that age you've got no idea what you're going to make it into.
Yeah, no, exactly. I was always into sport.
Yeah.
I played football, I played cricket.
Yeah.
Everything, did karate, all that sort of stuff. So I knew it was going to be sport, but I was passionate about tennis. So
Yeah.
I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I had to do something with it at the end of the day.
Did that take your focus off what you were studying at school? Like none of that mattered?
Yeah, I wasn't really as interested in studying unless I was doing PE
Yeah.
or even art. I think I did mind doing art and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But
Did Mr. and Mrs. Savino
they used to
take
look
your
at me
tennis
and
racket
shake
off
their
you?
heads. Oh, no, not really. No, they'll sort of let me do whatever I wanted to do. Yeah, no, they were pretty cool with
Confiscate your
that.
tennis racket?
No, it wasn't anything like that.
Yeah.
It was just, I think they were working a lot of the time, so I'd come home
Yes.
from school and just do whatever I wanted until I got home, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they weren't overpowering sort of parents. at all.
That sound pretty absent, actually. Give him a bit of a call out on air, Mr. and Mrs. Savino. Where
hi,
were
Mum.
you?
Hi, Dad. If
Yes.
you're listening. And my brother, Paul.
And I'm sure they all are listening, and you're doing very well, by the way. I'm sure they're very proud of their son being on the radio.
I hope so.
Especially here at the studios of 94.1 FM, 3WBC. It's where it all happens.
It
on
is.
my show, where it really is okay to not be okay. Now, were you ever coached, and I use that word coached, into, say, pursuing a normal job?
Yeah, I even tried at one stage. I was an apprentice chef. I think as soon as I left school, I was an apprentice chef.
Yeah.
But that lasted about 3 months.
Yes.
And I think the head chef told me, she goes, well, forget about playing tennis ever again because you have to spend 70 hours a week in the kitchen.
At least, yeah.
So I just put my knife down and just walked outside.
Where was
Said, "No,
that?
no, no." That was in Southgate.
Okay.
At a restaurant. I don't think it's there anymore. It was called Scusami.
Oh, you told me that once.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's there. It just got taken over.
Yeah,
I think there's
yeah.
a Greek restaurant there now.
Yeah. Because
But,
you're half Greek and half Italian, aren't
That's
you?
right, yeah. Best of both worlds.
Yes.
Bit of souvlaki, bit
Yep.
of pasta.
Now, who invented the wheel?
Who invented the wheel?
Yeah.
Was it a Greek guy?
I don't know. I had this.
Must have been.
It just
Is it
came
the
into
Greek or
my
Italian?
head. We were having this discussion on the weekend, and talking about who invented the wheel. I was sure it was the Greeks. The Greeks invented everything, didn't they?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, the stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty smart.
Oh, they are. Oh, yeah, I suppose they still are.
So, when you were being coached yourself in tennis, you had coaches or just one in particular?
Yeah, I had a couple of coaches while I was growing up, I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah. In Coburg Tennis Club and one down in Epping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was their influence like in your life? Because if, I'm thinking that your focus is just on tennis and that's your thing, then
Yeah.
you're not really going to be looking for mentors in school or somewhere else. But were these people useful in just not coaching you in tennis, but guiding you in life as well?
I suppose a little bit. I suppose the coach that I had, Archie in Coburg, had a little bit more of an influence over me, but it was very much do your private lesson and go home and I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that we had no idea about even trying to play a full-time program or how much training that I had to do and fitness and stuff like that. I was pretty much just have my lesson and maybe practice with a friend and then and go and play a competition or a tournament or something like that. And still I sort of got a little bit older and realised that everyone's playing a lot and then they've got full-time coaches and that's a different game altogether.
So you didn't
Pretty
get
much.
into that?
No, I didn't really get into that. I didn't know I had to. And I think only the best juniors in Australia had that. Sort of, because I were with the national academies and stuff like that.
Yes.
So that's when they had their full-time programs and someone like their mentors with them all the time,
Yep.
coaching them through life
Yeah.
as a junior.
And I can't wait to come back after the break and talk about your experience as a coach because it's two quite different things, isn't it?
Oh, completely.
Different sides of the net.
Coaching's easier.
Don't tell me anything about that yet because we still haven't finished up with your younger, not that you're old at the moment, but leaving school and then your 3-month stint as a chef at Scusami.
Yeah.
Then what did you do?
Well, then I was a little bit, I was always sort of stuck. Then I started coaching a little bit down at Coburg Tennis Club.
What qualified you to be coaching at that age?
The fact that I was just experienced playing tennis. And then I did my assistant coaching course here. But that was a couple of years later.
Yeah.
Because I had to get a qualification just to step on the court, pretty much.
Yep.
But it was sort of, if you had a decent background of tennis, you can step on the court and coach. And I was only coaching juniors, 5-year-old kids, 5 to 10-year-old kids.
They're
and stuff.
infants,
So it's
aren't they? Are they even juniors?
Pretty much, yeah. Dangerous.
Yeah.
With rackets in their hands. God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Who puts their kids into tennis at that age?
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest markets.
Yes.
There's heaps. You go around to all the tennis clubs at about 4 o'clock today, and it's full of 5 to 7-year-old kids running
Wow.
around. Yeah. It's
So
crazy.
so they exhibit talent at that age?
Well, some do. Yeah, you can. You can tell the ones that are a little bit more coordinated than the others.
Can't see a 5-year-old with a really good forearm. You know?
Can, yeah,
Really?
forehand.
Oh, so forehand.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
See-
Tennis lingo.
I'm not sure if I've ever played tennis.
Forehand and backhand.
You
no,
sound
it's,
like a coach.
No, they do. They mostly do it for fun
Yeah.
at that age, just to help their development
Yeah.
as juniors. So
'Cause it's a pretty fickle industry, isn't it? You know, you think about codes like AFL, where you've got a whole team of possibilities, whereas tennis is one person, and a very, very small industry where, you know, there's one person at the top. It's not 10.
No.
So, you know,
it's
from
Roger
that,
Federer. Oh, probably Nadal. At the moment.
whoever they are. But don't look at me like that. I know about other things.
Okay, fair enough.
But you said to me also one of your dreams was to play at Wimbledon.
Yes. Yeah, because I remember just watching it on
Yes.
TV, staying up all night.
Pat Cash.
Pat Cash. I know later on it was more like Boris Becker.
Yeah.
Like he was my ultimate crush.
Yes.
Yeah, just I read every article about him, watched all his matches. Yeah, I had the same racket as him.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely insane over Boris Becker. And that was a good era as well. It was like Boris Becker, Stefan Edberg and these guys and Ivan Lendl and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit later. Yeah, but yeah,
So
that
did
was
you
awesome. My
imagine
dream-
did you imagine that you could get to that level though?
Well, at that age, probably, yeah, because you don't really, you think anything's possible,
Yeah.
pretty much. So you just think, oh, one day, hopefully, I'll be able to get there. Had no idea how to do it
Yeah.
and how to go about it, but, it's just one of those dreams, I suppose.
Well, it sounded like you were making it up as you go along. And, you know, going back to the point of this interview that we sort of came up with together, was about how do you follow your passion? You know, when you've got it and you know it, but, you know, at a certain age, you really don't know how to identify with it, let alone how to make it happen and make a sustainable life. So all of a sudden you are making it up, even though you're sort of, well, I wouldn't say stumbling through, but I know from what you said also, you had to take a whole range of jobs to give you enough finance to enable you to continue playing and coaching tennis, didn't you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you sort of, because I wasn't that into coaching at a club level and coaching the
Yes.
juniors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then I made do with doing other things as
Yeah.
well, painting, tiling, whatever I could get my
Yeah.
hands on and whatever my friends were doing,
Yeah.
pretty much. They used to take me on as well.
Did you hate it?
I didn't really like it, but you just did it for the money,
Yeah.
and it got me to where I needed to go for the next trip or whatever. So I didn't really. It was all about just chasing my goal, whatever
Yes.
it was at that time,
Yeah.
which is like you generally a holiday on Mykonos, but at least it got me there
Yeah. No, but
with a tennis racket in my bag. But
you take your tennis. Oh, I expected you to bring it.
Oh no, we
in
went away to
today.
play a few tournaments, and I had a couple of distractions along the way.
Yeah, yeah. But, you know, for people that are listening in that don't want to make the leap, and I do a lot in leadership development and coaching as well, helping people identify with their passion and bringing it to life. And, you know, it becomes so often around risk management. So many times when people want to transition later in life, they've already got children, you know, children in private schools, a mortgage, whatever it might be.
It's a lot harder, yeah.
It's a lot harder.
Yeah.
But-
Basically impossible. Just
But is
about.
it?
It's not, but if you're talking about something like tennis where you have to travel and you have to pretty much leave all that and take a risk and start with a new player or something like that, it's very hard to sort of
Yeah.
bring your mind around it if you have kids and a family and a mortgage, and because it's,
Yeah.
can last like, you can have a job 1 month and then you're out of work after that.
Yes.
It's like starting again.
Yep. Yep.
So, yeah, I can see. When you're younger, it's a little bit easier,
Yes.
but still risky. A lot of people, even the young people of today, going after university or something like that, they want to
Yes.
get straight into a secure job,
Yeah.
which is fair enough.
Well, yes, but that's how we're encouraged as well. You know, in school, it's like, well, what's going to sustain you rather than what's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
And there is a big trend away from just being happy, because that's not sustainable.
No.
And that works into something else. So I think that, you know, understanding that when you jump, the safety net is probably going to appear, as long as you've put, you know, the infrastructure in place that you did. I mean, you know that you can always go and paint a house or weed a garden or whatever that might be.
Back then, yeah.
But, well, you don't do it now.
No.
Oh, look, the phone's ringing. There's somebody on the phone now. Can you come and weed my garden?
No, I'm a gardener. I'll do anything. I'll paint the house and do the garden.
Yeah. But I think that they're really good points to make, that, you know, there is risk involved. And I think not your industry so much, but the role that you have within the industry is kind of similar to that of the entertainment industry, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's very unpredictable.
Yes.
It's like you got a job today, you might not have one tomorrow, and it
Yes.
can take you anywhere. And
But you also inherit a family as well. And I know some of the times where we've been talking more often than not, you've been engaged with a player on tour, and you
Yeah.
become like you're sleeping in the same room and
Yeah,
eating
no, that's
together,
true.
and
You're very close. You
yeah.
are very close, like day in, day out,
yeah,
pretty much all day together. Yeah, and you are sharing a room and stuff like that sometimes.
yeah,
Depends on
on the budget,
exactly on their budget.
on the parents. But but at the end of that, if that kid or person doesn't win, then it doesn't continue the relationship.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
It depends on the stage, but yeah, if you're talking about a tournament player who's already fairly
Yeah.
established, if they have a bad run, then you can be like marching orders.
Yeah, so it's like a bad breakup, isn't it?
It can be.
Yeah.
You try not to let it get to that stage, but sort of sometimes it can be. Yeah.
But if they keep winning, then you keep being employed.
You're fine. You're a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great if they keep winning. Yeah, but sometimes it depends on the sort of how you set up the agreement as well.
Yep.
I think a little bit, and you got to know it's a work in progress all the time. So they're going to have some lulls in their career and everything, but
Yep.
then it always you're hoping for the good times to come more frequently than the bad times.
Well, you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
You're just making it up as you go along, aren't you, Stephen Savino? Well,
from week to week.
week to week, moment to moment on this fabulous radio station here today. It's great having you on the show.
It's good being here.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
Could do it all day, really.
pretty much. Just need to
Imagine-
get paid.
Well, that's right. Now, this is not as highly paid as you might think.
The coffee was good.
The coffee's awesome. It's I call it Rockstar coffee because it is international roast and it
Yeah.
comes out of a very, very big tin, and there are some hard bits in it, but that's all right.
That's fine.
Just adds to the fibre content, I think. But radio is something that we all here at 3WBC. We're all volunteers. And we have about 120 presenters that dedicate their time every week to coming to bring these amazing shows to our community. And,
Wow.
for me, I love it. My daughter said to me yesterday, she said, you really need a hobby. You work all the time. You never stop working.
Well, this is probably it.
This is it.
Yeah.
Yes. But she said, isn't that a job?
So
Hardly. Have you ever heard me present? I wouldn't get paid to do this. Stephen Savino, he's a level A international coach certified by the Global Professional Tennis Coaches Association.
that's right.
What's that all about?
It's an association that gives me my level A. Pretty much.
Really? I was going to say
Yeah,
no.
you get it.
No, but then I realised I'm not allowed to swear on radio.
No swearing.
No swearing.
No, it's just a classification pretty much. Like you can only get it if you've coached at a certain level already.
Yep.
Yeah, which is pretty much a Grand Slam level.
Which you have
means-
done some Grand
yeah,
Slams,
a
haven't you?
couple
About
of my
4?
players have played in a few Grand Slams.
Yeah. What's
which is
that
pretty
like?
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Grand Slams are awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, being on tour is awesome. But Grand Slams are pretty cool.
And when
Yeah.
I'm getting into that, I'm just saying that because it sounds good. I've got no idea what a Grand Slam is as opposed to
like at the moment they got the French Open. So the French Open just started yesterday.
Oh, so
actually.
it's the Opens like Wimbledon and
Wimbledon,
American Open.
Yeah, US Open,
Australian
Australian
Open.
and the French Open.
Is that because they slam the balls harder or?
Yeah, they call it Grand. They do it for a longer period of time.
Right.
Yeah, so it's slamming the ball for about 2 weeks.
Ah, that's true.
Yeah, every second day though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in an awesome city.
Yeah.
So it's like Paris and
Yeah.
London and New York, and they're the best cities ever.
Have you been to all of them?
Yes.
And you've
Yes, I
had
have.
players in all of them?
Yes.
Now, if you've got players in competitions like that, do we call them competitions?
Tournaments.
Tournaments? What's the level of stress that you would feel during that time?
It's pretty high.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's where you want to have your wins.
Yes.
That's where you want to win tournament because you get the most money and you get the most amount of points. So yeah, the pressure's up there, definitely up there.
But you're like, I know coaching is one thing because there is a certain level of control and expertise that you have there that you would expect that you'll get the best version of your player to the table or to the court.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess there's a certain amount of trust that you have in yourself that they're going to perform reasonably well.
Yeah, you
But-
sort of know you've been working well in the past, and
Yeah.
you sort of know that your information that you're giving them is right, and you can pretty much hold them up against anyone that they're going to play in the draw.
Yeah. I'll give you a bit of an insight into me, and this is the analogy that I'll draw. Like, I can play a game of pool. Some days I'm absolutely on fire, and other days I cannot hit a ball to save myself. It's the same with other activities. I can't remember what the other one was, but
Yeah.
is it like that?
Well, how many hours are you practicing playing pool?
None.
Well, you got to practice a little bit more, so you can be a little bit more consistent.
Yes, I know. But when you see a player, you can see a player have a really, really bad game.
Yeah, or sometimes they have a bad day and you sort of don't say anything. It's just like it happens.
Yeah.
It does happen because they play so often.
Yes.
So it can just be, I don't know, just the way you get up. Sometimes you can be waking up feeling great. And for some reason, you just either can't put it all in or your opponent's having a very good day.
But I'm more interested to hear what it feels like being you when that's happening.
Well, you sort of try and solve the problems at the start, but then sometimes you just have to let it go.
Yeah.
And you can't blame anyone. Hopefully the player doesn't blame me.
Yes.
And then we all just move forward and just work on a few things. And yeah, but a lot of the time when it works out like that,
it has a direct
it's pretty much
impact
hard to
on your
control.
livelihood, though, doesn't it? We were saying before that, if your player doesn't go to fruition, then you don't have a job.
Well, if that happens too often, then of course the chemistry isn't right or something is wrong, something's off. So then you can be, of course, can be a little dangerous.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, those days don't happen all the time. So it's generally you have a lot more control over the match.
Yes.
And you can sort of tactically, you can keep them in there. And if they lose, they lose. And if it's a close match,
Yeah.
so be it. You just go back and work out why things happened.
Well, my research dug up for me that you have developed your own unique and effective teaching methods. Can you talk about those?
Won't teach you, man. I can't give away too many secrets.
Something you put in their water?
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. No, too much testing going on.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I sort of try and just to teach everyone as an individual. That's the most important thing you can do.
Okay, so you were talking about chemistry before, for example.
Yeah.
So there's different...
you need a bond, a really good bond with your player.
Okay, so a player comes to you with his parents. He might be 16 years of age. They've got so much money, they just want to throw it all at you and say, make my son or daughter into a beautiful tennis player.
Yeah.
But there's no chemistry. What do you do?
Work on the chemistry. Make it work. Well, see, we've got to sort of try and get along with everyone. So, sometimes you're going to bond more with others,
Yes.
which is natural. But, probably at that level, I think chemistry can come over a long period of time as well. So the more you're together, you have a bit of a history and then you can sort of build that relationship. Becomes a little bit more sustainable from that. So, yeah, you just have to be the coach of the job is to just make sure the other person is okay and they're improving. So that's the bottom line. And, bonding with a 16-year-old or something like that is pretty... I suppose not very complicated at that stage of their life. So they're all pretty cool and everything, and we can sort of get along, and we have a common interest. We're both passionate about the same thing, so it's very easy to get along with someone.
Have you ever met with a player or a kid who's been placed into the space against their wishes that they don't want to be there?
I wouldn't say they wouldn't want to be there, but everyone's level of passion's sort of different.
Yes.
Some might not be as passionate as others, and they probably stress out a little bit more because they don't want to allow themselves to work that hard.
Yeah.
Or take the extra step. That's you can sort of see that, and you just let them be. Maybe it'll come later. Yes. Or each to their own. Sometimes you can't push them too much.
What's your usual life cycle then? Working with a person. Is the expectation here, I want to win this tournament, at the end of the year, or, I'm going to sign up with you for 10 years and get good over that period of time?
Well, it's always sort of a long-term agreement in a way. Like you don't want to have like a short-term. You might have a trial, depending on the level. If they're full-on professional and say they're top 100 already, then you probably go through a trial of maybe a tournament or two to see just how you get along and everything, and sort of results don't really matter that much.
Yep.
And then after that, you're sort of setting long-term goals. You want to be together for as long as you can. I mean, at least a couple of seasons. Yeah. Or something like that. You can't do much work within a couple of months.
Well, I went and had singing lessons once.
How'd you go?
Well, I wasn't good after one, so I didn't go back.
Really?
No.
Oh, give yourself a break.
Well, do you know what? I didn't have a rapport with the coach. He actually made me feel really... And I'm a reasonably confident person, and I don't really care too much about things like failure, or I'm fine to fall on my face, but I just felt I didn't have a connection, and I felt really quite vulnerable, actually, was how I felt.
Oh, so it didn't make you feel comfortable at all?
No.
No? At ease or anything? Yeah, you don't want to sort of be under pressure. Yeah. So I try to take the pressure off.
Yes.
Especially if I'm starting with someone.
Well, that's your style anyway as a person. When I say as a person, you are a person, so I don't know what people even say that.
Sometimes.
As a turtle, as a car, you know.
I'm very bad turtle.
But as a person, no, but you are pretty chill and you're pretty loose.
Yeah, pretty laid back. Yeah, but I mean, it's, I suppose with everyone has their ups and downs and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So you have to manage that. But when so because I've got to remember that I'm there for the player, so I can't be just because something's happening in my life, I can't put it out on them. So if I'm having a
Yes.
bad day, it's about them. So I have to put that away and focus on them.
That's right. That's what you're being paid.
That's what I'm being
for.
paid to do. Yeah. I suppose it's like everyone else with their jobs as well.
Yeah.
They have to have a certain level of, so maybe professionalism.
Yeah, but being authentic, I think, is also important. That it's not like you're bringing your bad mood into the zone, but certainly being an authentic person and showing up, gives somebody the idea that you're there as you rather than trying to pretend.
Yeah, but well, you can't. I suppose there's extremes.
Yeah.
They can't be just like getting angry and stuff and
Yeah.
blaming them for something and
Yeah.
only because they just missed a shot. Or I can't be also not say anything or withdrawn as well. You sort of just have to you suppose block everything out and.
But when you
and
watch
stay
these
there for them.
kids and their aspirations, and some must be little versions of you who go, just want to play Wimbledon, just want to be the best, just want to go overseas.
Yeah.
Do you ever, like in terms of empathy, put yourself in their shoes and take yourself back to being a younger version of you?
Oh, sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially mostly when they're like maybe 15 or 16.
Yeah.
Because that's that age where you sort of want to be doing something cool,
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
do you
I can see-
encourage that then?
Yeah, for sure.
Because
Yeah,
you've not
always
played
do.
you've not played Wimbledon yourself, have you?
No, I played on the courts.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
What was
it's pretty
that?
cool.
Yeah.
It's grass. It's like playing in the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, but very nice grass.
Yes.
Very nice garden.
Very expensive grass too. Is it
I think it would be.
raised by seeds? That's it?
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
instant turf.
Oh no. It's like full on. Yeah, real. I think they plant it and it grows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would
just like
have to have
grass.
they would have botanists, wouldn't they?
Oh, they'd have everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best gardener in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
or
sure.
greenkeeper.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're called.
Yeah.
Actually, but I had to wear all white and stuff, and I was just like practicing. Yeah, complete white.
Wow.
Which was strange. I don't think I had a white thing in my suitcase, so I had to borrow it.
Or you could have just bought a bottle of bleach and bleached everything. But imagine being one of those green people. Well, green, the
gnome.
grass people. That imagine waking up, as a kid and going, that's all I want to do in my life. Because that's people do.
Well, maybe they're involved in the industry as well. Maybe they have a passion for tennis, but they're working in a different capacity,
Yeah.
like in a way like I did.
Yeah. Well, that's right, because you've gone to the other side
Yeah,
of the court and actually have to sit there and watch.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
What about the industry in general? If I compare it to, say, the AFL and other codes, how does it support you in what you do? And the players too, for that matter.
Well, as in maybe a like a governing sort of body that.
Well, yeah.
or-
How are you protected in your industry? How are you taken care of? You look at any industry that has peak bodies that govern over the top to make sure that you might have access to work, access to training, access to all sorts of different things to help you support your career.
Well, I think Tennis Australia helps you out in that as well. I mean, but there's only so much they can help.
Yes.
I mean, it's everyone's own responsibility
Yeah.
in a way. But like, depends on which road you want to take. So if I'm taking the professional road, then I'm pretty much on my own. If it works, it works. But then you learn a few tricks of the trade, like organising contracts
Yep.
and stuff like that. And you have to network a lot because if it doesn't work out with one player, hopefully
Yes.
you can jump to another one.
So how do you get your
fairly
clients?
recently. Just if you're there in the scene and people know you, then it's you're sought after, just like
Yes.
anything else, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's in that way, that's the risky part about it.
Well, yeah, again, going back to the analogy of the entertainment industry, you get a
Yeah.
movie, you work on that, you join the family, and then when it's
And then
done, you all
see
break
later.
up
Yeah, exactly right.
and back to
Yeah,
square
so
one.
it relates to that a lot.
So how does
in
that
that respect.
affect you in terms of things like relationships? And I don't mean just like intimate relationships like being married and having kids, but also, with your parents and your brother and, friends and all that as well, given the nature of your business.
Well, with the family, my immediate family, it's pretty much the same as what it was.
Yes.
I mean, I just didn't see them as often.
Yeah.
But no, that's you pick up where I left off with that.
Yeah.
That's fine. But with friends, yeah, sometimes I've got really good friends, so I'm lucky enough that sort of it's been pretty stable
Yeah.
over the years.
Yeah.
With girlfriends and stuff, let's not talk about it. They don't exist.
Okay, no,
So, yeah.
no, but you did when you because we haven't even really talked about when you've gone across to Italy and lived in Italy in Perugia.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Perugia.
Perugia. I'm
Perugia.
going to be there in the next few weeks.
Oh, that's awesome.
At the what's the name of the place you were working at?
The Art of Tennis.
The Art of Tennis.
Yeah, what a name. That's a cool name.
Now you also met a young lady at that same time as well, didn't you?
Yes, actually, I met her first.
Yes.
And then she was studying in Perugia.
Yes.
So I went there with her.
Yeah.
And then while I was there, just staying with her, just like having a holiday.
Yes.
I went to the tennis club, and that's where I met the guys that owned the academy. And I was like, I had about 4 players in the top 100, a couple in the top 50 at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I just walked into heaven.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was cool. So I just I started, because I was sort of practicing and everything. I could practice with them, but they had other levels of players as well. They had some guys who were ranked about 400 in the world.
Yeah.
Some top juniors. So it wasn't just the elite of the elite training there. Yeah, so I was with her, and I was just maybe just hanging around with them and training with them a little bit, and then the head coach wanted me to do another coaching course that just basically gave me a background on how to be a professional tennis coach, and then I just slowly started helping out in a way, and then started getting busier with working with them.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool.
Dream job.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, no, totally. Because then I was sort of, coaching elite tennis players and then traveling around Europe, like to tournaments and stuff like that. So, couldn't ask for anything more, really. In a beautiful country, and it was like awesome experiences.
Yeah.
Traveling to really nice places. Yeah, so I really couldn't complain.
So is that something like that sustainable, or do you get bored?
No, sustainable. I was there for about 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was up to me how long I want to stay.
Yeah.
You don't get bored. Didn't get bored at all because the wine's too good and the sights are amazing, and cities are very nice. So,
So is that something that is still on your agenda to possibly go back to, something like that?
I don't think I'd base myself anywhere else anymore. I'd like to be based back in Melbourne because I love it here. And but traveling again, why not?
Because I guess your plan is with your business, and we're going to talk a bit more about your academy. Do you call it an academy?
No, I just call it my own little private thing.
Your own little private thing. So no, it's
nothing big.
It's exclusive to Stephen Savino. Nobody's welcome.
And no one works for me.
Nobody, you
me.
don't play with anyone. You got your racket and you got your brick wall, and off you go every day.
Basket of tennis balls, a couple of cones, so they know where to run.
Yeah.
And that's about it. That's all you need.
Yeah. But your little private practice is down in Pran?
Yeah, I use the courts down in Paran, which is very central. It's actually really good, very handy. And I'm not tied to any club or anything like that, which gives me the freedom to do as I please pretty much.
When you say freedom to do as you please, in what respect?
Well, I can coach anytime. I don't have a contract with the club.
Yeah.
So they can't kick me out. And and I can leave if I want to and stuff like that, as long as within reason with the people that I'm coaching at the moment, of course. So it just makes it easier for the type of people that I coach and for myself as well.
So what could somebody expect if they were coming to sign up with you?
Oh, it depends on the level.
Well...
Yeah, I coach everybody from all ages and levels. So adults mostly, I suppose, fun, bit of a workout.
Yep.
And working on their technique.
Yes.
And everything. But it's very maybe lots of running, centered more around the physical side of playing, which is what they're after as well. They want to learn how to play, but they also... I can see they get a little bored after 5 minutes if they're standing in the same spot. So I like to make them run around. And
there's lots of elements to tennis, but I guess my question was around that. We live in this society where there's lots of fad, I guess, fitness programs. I'm involved in F45 at the moment, which I'm really loving.
Yeah, a lot of people love that.
So it suits me because of a whole range of things, but we tend to look at fitness and working out typically in a gym doing traditional workouts, whereas we don't consider things like tennis because, tennis is a competitive sport.
Yeah, that's true.
But what you're suggesting is that people could come to you as an alternative to going to a gym to work out.
Oh, they totally can, yeah, definitely. It's tennis is a sport, so there's running involved. Maybe because it's in a small court,
Yes.
a lot of people think that you don't have to do much running. But you can run around for a couple of minutes and you'll be like absolutely stuffed.
Yeah.
It's a great workout. Good for the legs as well.
So when you're coaching an individual, like, do you have to stand at the other end? Who do they hit the ball
depends.
to?
If it's I hit the ball, I generally practice with them.
Yeah.
It depends on what I'm doing. So sometimes I'll rally with them or play with them. Or if I want to do something specific, then I'll be on the same side as them and explain whatever it is to be worked on. And I'll just throw the ball to them. Yeah. And hopefully they can execute it the way I want it.
Okay. So, but if the ball's not coming back, how do they learn anything? Oh, okay.
Yeah, just repetitive.
Just answered my own question because I'm visualising here, you see.
Just throw another ball.
Just throw another ball.
I've got a big basket of tennis balls. There's like about 150 tennis balls in there.
So do you have to keep your technique and your skills pretty sharp?
Oh, reasonably, yeah. Sort of like I'd have to keep a decent level of fitness going and be able to play. So,
How would you rate yourself, Stephen?
I'm getting better.
Are they called seeds or something? Or
seeds?
Yeah.
They're the ones that play the tournaments.
Yeah.
How would depending on the it's nowhere near a seed.
So if you were to play against who's the top person at the moment?
Rafael Nadal.
Would you be scared?
Yes.
Okay.
Because just like one look from him and it like feels like you want to kill me. So yes, I'd definitely be running.
Would you be able to get one back up across the net though?
I'll be able to hit one back, but that's about it.
Yeah. It would be really scary, wouldn't it?
Oh, they're insanely fit and strong and mentally so tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think that's what makes a tennis player who sits outside of the norm? It's that whole combination of mental and physical.
Yes.
And agility.
Yeah. Their coordination, their different aspects of their coordination is much better than the average person.
Yeah.
Their reaction time. Yeah, the fact that they can anticipate a lot faster.
Yeah. So given that level of focus all the time and, what even you're describing about yourself, think about tennis all the time, but these people are like consuming it, 24/7 every second of the day, not only mentally but physically.
Yeah, they've got a pretty full program. They might not spend a lot of the time on the court and stuff like that, but everything, their life revolves around staying in shape.
Yeah.
From what they eat to how much they drink to even their habits of what they're going to do in their social life. Like, they don't want to be doing too much.
Yeah.
So you have to sort of make sure you're getting the right amount of rest and stuff. So yeah, their life revolves around it. Where they might only spend an hour and a half on the court during the day, but everything's from their sleeping patterns to what they're having for breakfast. And then their routine rolls on from there.
How do you think mentally it affects the human condition, having that amount of pressure?
Well, it can get a little bit too much for some of them because that's when you can sort of get burnt out.
Yes.
It's very hard. It's a hard lifestyle and it's not for everyone. Some people try it and they quit.
Yes.
Which is fine because it's not, it's very hard to sustain.
Well, I think it sounds like for both sides, not only being a player but also a coach, it can be pretty lonely and isolating too.
It can be, yeah. But there's sort of the down times. But
yes.
Well, you sort of have to manage that. But I couldn't sort of, you have to find the balance as well. But that's part of the deal.
It is.
Yeah.
And part of the deal is that I have to hand over the reins to Ken Lyons in approximately 5 minutes.
Oh, we're done already? I was just
Almost.
getting warmed up.
I know.
That's crazy.
It's like a game of tennis, just getting warmed
just
up.
keep rallying back and forth.
You can always come back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely. Or you can just pop over to Studio 2 and
just continue my talk.
with Ken. But look, I did want to give a shout out now because in 5 minutes' time, my son George will be presenting his dish to the Appetite for Excellence judges as part of the Junior Chef of the Year Awards. Which is a national hospitality awards program that recognises and awards talented chefs just like my George. And they're the next generation of industry leaders. So they have a really awesome objective of creating a sustainable industry. And that's what I was talking about, industry. Before, how does your industry support? But for young people like George, I think I'm going to start crying.
Don't do it. I've got tissues here.
You already blew your nose on that.
Yeah, that's okay. Use the other side.
No, I'm really proud of George. He's you know what it's like in hospitality. It's really, really hard. And
it is hard,
he works good 20 hours a day, for very many days. And he loves what he does.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
ever since he was a little boy, I cook, and you give him a spoon, and before he could even talk, he was cooking, and he's followed his passion and got into Junior MasterChef when he was a little boy.
Wow.
In the competition, and so he's been very well mentored by George Columbaris, and has worked with George for many years.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so all that crap about George Columbaris in the media,
Just hype.
I thank God that he was my son's employer and one of his first employers, because he did an amazing job. And
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's good to hear as well.
yeah, absolutely. So everyone just go and, again,
Get a life.
Yes. Go and get your own passion and stop bagging everyone else's.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
If you don't want to work in it, don't.
Yeah.
So good luck, George, for in 5 minutes' time. Now, Stephen, sometimes when people listen into my show, they can have some feelings or emotions around some of the more intimate things that we talk about mental health and things like that. So if you have experienced anything uncomfortable, don't forget you can phone Lifeline on 131114. The suicide callback service is 1300 659 467, and of course 000 for any emergency. It's there for a reason.
Yeah.
Now, feedback.
Feedback.
Where can people contact you?
They can probably through my website. It's probably the best thing.
www.
Stephen Savino, SS Tennis.
Yes.
sstennis.com.au. So
Now,
I think you can email through that, and I think my phone number and all the details are on there.
Yes, or you can go to my Facebook page, which is presenting Rae Bonney. You can join it, and you can also see a link there to Stephen's website and Stephen himself. It's a great photo taken very recently. Thank you again, Stephen.
No worries.
It was so much fun. I feel like I've played a game of tennis already.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. You have been listening to Rae Bonney, where it really is okay to not be okay. And remember, by extending just even a little bit of kindness and care, you could be saving your life. Take care, everyone.